And thank you, Mr. Isaacson. And now for your testimony, I now recognize myself for 5 minutes of questioning. And I am delighted to hear, Mr. Isaacson, that you believe certain quotes here that INL needs to be modernized, needs to be reformed, and that maybe they are just following some of the precepts of the 1980s. But specifically, I agree that they are not, that they need to be reorganized and there needs to be some revamped. But let's go to the last 4 years. Do you really believe that talking to the Guatemalans and to the Salvadorians about gender ideology or the pronouns or how you can, there are many genders, do you really think that talking to them was going to make the United States and themselves safer? Safer? I mean, you were going to keep people home? So explain how one thing comes to link to the other.
I would like to know what percentage of the program actually was about gender and identity and things like that. If it's, we don't have that data.
The main focus, the Guatemalans were complaining.
In terms of dollar amounts?
And of course, and in terms of political willingness and desire to infiltrate these forces with our ideology, the American Biden administration ideology. Don't you think that we did a disservice to them and to us?
If you're fighting human trafficking, where most victims are women,
yeah,
you need
how can you be talking about
focus.
sex when you're trying to fight human trafficking? How do you do that?
I just need to know, how much of the programming really did go in that direction instead of like Joint Task Force Alpha in Guatemala, which was fighting human smugglers.
The Guatemalans, perfect example. They hated a lady by the name of Consuelo Porras. Do I know her? No, I don't. But I know that she's the AG of the country, so why don't we work with her? Oh, because she's too conservative. Who are we to say that to the Guatemalans? Why?
I don't know if Consuelo Porras is hated.
It's everything I'm saying is quoted. Consuelo Porras is detested.
Oh, I think she is detested.
It was okay. Yeah. Well, but who are we, the Americans, to come and say, oh, Consuelo is not the person that you need to work with. She's the AG.
I've never heard that she was held at arm's length because she favored free markets or
she was too conservative.
Because she was conservative, because of significant corruption, according to what I saw.
You know what I'm telling you. So please help me understand why the Biden administration wanted to concentrate its resources when it talks to reforming and securing the Salvadorian Guatemalan police, concentrated on something that had nothing to do with national security for the United States.
My impression was that INL and the Justice Department worked very hard with, not with Consuelo, but with the rest of the public ministry in Guatemala on something called Joint Task Force Alpha, which was a big effort to get at the nodes of the network of migrant smuggling. And they've actually taken out a lot of migrant smugglers, working with the Attorney General's office in Guatemala in the last few years. And the Trump administration is expanding that.
Did you know this? Would give money to the NGOs in Guatemala to help the migrants have a smoother ride while they were going through Guatemala and getting to Mexico.
I think that would have been illegal in Guatemala, where they actually arrest and deport more than 20,000, 30,000 migrants a year back into Honduras.
9 million went through it. All right,
yeah, a lot do get through.
Let's go to El Salvador. Bukele, what do you think? What ranking do you give to Bukele from 1 to 10?
I would give him a 4, perhaps. I think he's a brilliant communicator, but I do worry about checks and balances.
Forget about the communicator. What has he done with the country?
He has put 3% of the male population in prison, which, by doing so, did eradicate, for now, a lot of the gangs.
And you and I agreed that if there is one innocent guy in the Sikot, I was the first one who told him, you got to get him out, because we don't want innocent people in jail. But the thing is that, Sikot is full of people who are full of tattoos that are revealing who they were and what they did. Each drop meant one murder. So do you think he did something right?
If these people were facing judges, and if their families knew what was going on with them, it would be right. But right now, almost everybody there is pretrial, and there's not even dates for most of their trials. So yeah, they need a fair shake. I mean, it was right to clean out the streets.
I agree with you that everyone needs due process. Yes, sir.
And that's just not happening right now.
All right, but what about us working with him? And maybe if INL would have done its job, then Bukele would have been able to really help. We would help him to do a better job, don't you think? Talking about diversity, and inclusion and pronouns.
I think one of INL's biggest obstacles actually there is, and I actually support it, is language that both Republicans and Democrats put in the foreign aid bill saying that half of aid, I believe it's half, to El Salvador is cut until they can certify that the human rights situation is good and is improving. And right now, more than 300 people dying in the jails in the last 3 years and widespread allegations of torture. It's been hard to certify that.
What happens to the human rights of the people who were outside being killed by those gang members, which is why he got 90% of transparent and internationally observed elections. We agree with that,
Oh, yeah,
right?
if I was a
The
shopkeeper being
Salvadorians love the
extorted.
guy, so why do we have to hate him? Who are we to say to this guy, don't do it that way?
I think we're just worried about what it's going to look like in 5 years. But yeah, right now, if I'm a shopkeeper who had to pay...
Don't you think that they should be concerned about what they're going to be looking like 5 years from now? That's their concern, not ours. We're here to help them have a better police force. All right? Do you agree with that, right?
We're certainly here to help them have a better police force, but we don't want to be funding abuses in the short term.
I think that I'm exceeding my time. I yield back. Now I'm going to recognize the ranking member for 5 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.